Good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world of darkness, and welcome to Rage Across New York, the Archer venue. Today's scene sees Kotori going to see one of his packmates on the training ground because, well, he wants to learn something that is a tradition of his people, or rather, the Hamid's tribe of his people. And well, outside of a certain menace, and obviously Black Fury's elder, there's actually one person who knows how to archer and who archers a lot. So he goes there to find if Callie is actually eating eating dicks with with her arrows.
Well, Callie is currently in the Umbra, or not in the Umbra, but in the training grounds, and she is currently doing her own sort of training at this point, sort of keeping her skills sharp. There's a pulley system in the training grounds itself that has dummies that are suspended by ropes that move quickly in different directions. And she is currently sort of going in between them using her flurry of arrows. So she is, as one passes by, she spins around, misses that one. On the second shot, she tries to hit it again, hits that one. And as another one comes by, boom, and then another, boom. So yeah, as Kotori comes up, she is spinning between about three targets, one of which she has to actually take two shots at, but she is spinning between them, shooting deftly, going from one to the next, pulling an arrow quickly, and then in less than 2 seconds, it's
Hmm. Kotori is just going to sit and he's going to wait. And by the way, if when she will look at him, she can probably see that he has bags under his eyes because I failed my nightmare check.
And just to see how awake he is. Don't botch, don't botch, don't botch. Yeah. An arrow hits like in between his knees on the stump that he's sitting on. Just
I'm going to, I guess, what would I do? Would I do? Hmm. Actually, I think I'm going to do a perception empathy on you to see if you were intending, to hit me. So yes, I guess I can conclude that you were not trying to hit me.
I would say that
Or were you?
the sly smirk on her face would indicate that no, she was not trying to hit you. She was merely trying to scare the shit out of you.
So yes, but I guess that with this perception check, I guess that Kotori is like, okay, that's interesting. So he gets the arrow, out of the ground, and he's just going to approach.
Wearing your man suit today, I see.
Well, and I kind of need these.
Mm-hmm.
um, what I asked? What I asked of you a few days ago, that I would want to learn archery.
Mm-hmm.
surprise. You go, her.
So you're here to learn how to use a bow.
Yes.
Okay. Well then, she'll lead him over to the weapons rack. What do you know about archery?
Well, he goes, oh, I know that it's used for hunting by hobbits, and that it's as he just go, it's used to kill at distance, and that it's made out of woods and tendons.
Can be. Doesn't necessarily have to be in this day and age.
Yeah, he probably looks. I guess that you have a competition bow.
No, she has a natural bow.
Oh, okay,
The bow of Artemis.
okay. Because yeah, otherwise he would have seen like all the bows, like modern bows, and he would be like, what?
She'll place her own bow up over her shoulder and put the drawstring across her chest so she can, sort of holster it in a way. So one of the important things is to find a bow that suits your needs, which feels more comfortable in your hand. It's a relative term for you because you're born on 4 legs, not 2. You can go and she'll point. There are 2 types of bows predominantly used. I won't get into the crossbows because I just don't think that's your style. She'll come up. And she'll pick up. This is a short bow.
Mm-hmm.
Short bows do less damage, but they're much more agile, much more quick. If you want to snipe on the run, this is not a bad bow. It's also much better for getting in close. The arms aren't quite as long. The draw isn't quite as long. It's good for mid to close range combat. And she'll hand it over to Katori.
He's going to take it in his paw, and obviously, being a lupus, he's going to sniff it. Sweaty.
It's a public use bow.
He's going to try a little bit and go, before putting it back.
Then you have your longbow, and she'll pick up the longbow. Now, this bow, generally speaking, much longer range, much more damage, but when it comes to close quarters combat, it's not the best choice. However, you can use a longbow if you really want to smack somebody in the face with. You get enough wind up, you can actually smack somebody pretty hard with one of these. This happens to be my bow of choice as the longbow. It's much more elegant, I feel, much more graceful. And I feel that the accuracy on a longbow is far greater than a short bow.
Mm-hmm. He's going to try it. I need to remember something. Is there like because I know some games put differences in strength to use different types of bows. Is there one for long and short bows, or
No.
is it just okay? Then yeah, he's actually going to try, and he goes, he goes, well, I'm afeared, so even if I've been born on 4 legs, close combat is not very much my thing. I
Fair
prefer
enough.
to stay at a safe distance, and then if they come to me, then yeah, that's the moment where I smack them.
She'll walk over to like a small like metal box that's on the weapons rack, and she'll use a key to open it. And then she pulls out a competition bow. Very Weaver.
And he just looks at that and like, I'm going to roll curiosity. Oh yeah, he sees that. Wow, what is that?
This is a compound bow. This is a modernization of an old device. You can see that the arms are made of carbon fiber, so they're flexible, but they're also extremely durable. The actual drawstring itself is, and she'll point at the pulleys, is set on these to actually make the draw tension easier to manage, but at the same time not sacrifice any power.
Yeah, it's almost like he forgot he has a bow in his hand.
And she'll reach in and pull out the various accoutrements that she can add to it. So she'll put on the 2 stabilizers on either side and the reticle on it. And it has actually a very nice has very nice accessories. She points at the 2 sort of arms that come off of it. These are stabilizers. These make the bow far more balanced. You can actually line up a shot much easier with one of these. And this, and she'll point to this little glass circle with a little tritium reticle in it. This is a targeting reticle, like a scope on a rifle. And she'll hand it over to Katori.
Yeah, he's going to put down gently the longbow, and he's just going to look at this this thing. And I'm just looking at online, images, and it almost feels like a lyra. So he's probably pulling some of a string like dung, dung, dung. And he just laughs mentally as he thinks like he's actually sending an image to Callie's mind, but it's basically smiles in the night, silently judging.
Callie will chuckle a little bit at that. Go ahead, give it a try. Pull the string back.
And he tries, because actually something that I'm going to make a wits, either a wits or intelligence. I think it's up to you, because I'm looking at the picture and it seems that there are at least 1, 2, 3. There are 3 strings, 3 strings on those.
Make me a intelligence roll. Difficulty 8.
Could I use craft to actually try to understand how it works, how it seems to works?
If you want to increase the difficulty to 9, but have a higher dice pool, sure.
So how is it? How much is it for pure intelligence?
Pure intelligence would be 8. Intelligence crafts, difficulty 9.
Okay, I'm going to try the difficulty 9.
All right.
And since I have creative ideas, or creative, I don't remember what.
Creative logic.
Creative logic. I think that would work in this. And it's sad. It's sad. So yeah, he's trying, but no. And
Callie
also,
just kind of chuckles, like, no, 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 you're actually pulling on one of the load strings. And she'll take his hand, and you see this little indicator here, and it's like a little.
uh-huh,
It's like where the string actually becomes like multicolored.
uh-huh.
This is where you pull. This is where you notch the arrow.
Hmm. And actually, that's kind of funny because this is the actually one of the only time where my ancestors cannot help me. Okay, so I guess after after the explanation, he starts to actually understand which string he needs to use. So I guess now is the frightening time of try to aim and not kill a random kinfolk who was passing by.
She'll pull one of the arrows out of her quiver.
Mm-hmm.
You're fairly familiar with an arrow, correct?
Uh, that's that's what kills.
All right.
And this is the
So
pointy stick.
this is your basic breakdown. Head.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the killing comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a multitude of arrowheads that you can have.
Mm-hmm.
Everything from the blunt stone training arrowheads that we use here to a standard piercing head that's almost shaped like a bullet.
Mm-hmm.
Pierces armor pretty well, but doesn't do a whole lot of damage. It's just almost a straight shot in. You have your traditional steel and stone arrowheads, and she'll point out to one of them. These do a considerable amount of damage. Makes it much harder for the enemy to actually pull them out. And then we have more advanced arrows, and she'll reach down to one of the like the bundles of arrows that are by the arrow rack or the bow rack. And this is a razorhead arrow. And it's basically an arrowhead that's got three very razor sharp blades that kind of come into an apex that make the arrowhead.
Mm.
These do maximum damage, but being a lupus, I don't know how appealing you find these.
Well, I mean, if it does more damage, then it kills more quickly.
Very much so, but it's also very much Weaver influenced. But so is the bow you're holding.
He shrugs. Mm. Well, I mean, he looks at it. I could put a Spain Spirit into this.
You definitely could. The other nice things about these particular arrows is they have a tendency to spin while in midair.
Mm.
Which means just like with a round fired out of a rifle, it holds its trajectory much better. They don't squirrel off uh, like some other bows or some other arrows might if they're not well balanced.
Mm.
This is the shaft. She'll point at it. It's pretty much what you see is what you get. You can get these made out of wood or carbon fiber. And then these at the end, and she'll point to the feathers, are the fletch, or the fletchers. Basically, these help the arrow remain stable in mid-flight.
Mm.
And actually, the slightest alterations to these before you fire off the round can actually change how the arrow flies.
Mm. Interesting.
And she'll take out her bow, roll her gnosis, fail miserably. Actually, botch. So I think that a rite of contrition is going to be needed to make her bow, as her bow sort of lashes out at her.
Like,
Sort
how
of,
dare you?
this is a training exercise. Stop that. She's like, well, fine. That's how you want to be today. That's how you want to be. So she'll notch an arrow, Now, and she shows him like the proper sort of way to rest the arrow on the actual bow itself. And she'll hold it up. What you want to do is focus on your target, but do not close one eye. A lot of people think that it's better if you close one eye to tunnel your vision, but what you're actually doing is you're throwing off your depth perception when doing that. So, and she'll draw it back, narrow her eyes. You want to, essentially, your front hand, and she'll sort of wiggle her pinky on her front hand. This is what you're going to use to aim, to line up your shot. And you want to look straight down the arrow shaft and do as much a beeline straight for the target as you can. And she fires it off and gets 4 successes because she has a specialty in longbows. So she fires it off at a stationary target, and of course it just hits that target dead center.
Well, Kotori is seeing this. He's enthusiastic. So he's going to put the arrows, and he's going to start to aim and he probably for a few seconds, as there's probably the noise of the cogs as he's pulling, he's like for like a few seconds before he aims. And just for the fun, so basically difficulty is supposed to be 5, but I don't have archery, and so that means +1 difficulty. So it should be 6. I had nightmares, so I'm reduced to -1 dice. So it means I have 2 dice.
Actually, when you don't have a skill, I think it's -1 dice, not a increase in difficulty.
Oh, maybe it's from the second edition of World of Darkness that did that, the -1. Let's just check.
Oh, wait a minute! I didn't botch that roll. It's in Gnosis 5 for the Bow of Artemis. I just failed. Oh.
If you try to perform an action involving you have no rating, your difficulty is increased by 1.
Oh, well.
So yeah,
I have been shortchanging myself for many months now.
Yeah. So okay, first he's going to try, with all his capacities at hand. Wow, he actually hit the target, even if probably his position is not that great. Yeah, he still hit it.
All right. Kelly nods and she'll say, "All right, notch another arrow and draw back."
Yeah,
and I'm going to roll my charisma archery to try and give you pointers. Charisma is 2, so that's 6 dice. She gets 1. So let's say you can add, for training purposes, add a single dice to your dice pool. And she has 1 arrow out, and she's using the tail end of it to sort of set up his posture a little bit better. She's like, elbow up higher. Relax. Eyes down the shaft. Now take your time this time. Aim. And what's Kotori's wits rating?
3.
So for every turn that you spend aiming, you can add up to your wits rating in extra dice.
Nice.
So she's like, take your time. Relax. You want the release to be completely with just the tips of your fingers, so she'll actually adjust his grip on the drawstring. If you have too much finger around the string itself, you're actually working against what you're trying to do.
Hmm. So wow, that's actually a rule for the bows. Like you can get up to your wits.
Every turn that you take aim, yes.
Wow,
That's for any ranged weapon, actually.
wow, that's close combat sucks. Okay, so I guess I'm going to wait to get the 3 more dice
Hmm.
for this one, and let's see if actually it makes it worse.
And she'll say,
Oh yeah.
exhale slowly.
Oh,
Wow.
oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. That center.
You split Callie's arrow that she just fired, that she fired earlier. I know it's not possible. Shut up, Mythbusters.
Yeah.
But yeah, you completely just split Callie's arrow right down the center. And she stands there and she does a little golf clap.
Real school clap.
Very good, Katori. Very good.
If he was in lupus, he would probably waggle his tail. He's actually he. I think he's pretty excited by this, and he's going to try. He's going to try once again. Like, oh yeah, I'm on a roll.
All right. So she'll again instruct him better.
And actually, this time, he's going to quote unquote call for another help to get even better because he's so excited. And since it's still archery, he's going to ask.
Callie can't give you any pointers this time.
It's okay. It's okay. Oh, yeah. So I still have 2 more dice for archery. So it means I'm at 5 right now. And so he's going to wait 3 turns. And he's going to shot again. Uh, why don't I have a specialty?
Because you don't have any archery.
Well, not now.
You have 3 successes there, not 2.
What? No, the difficulty is my difficulty is still 6 because
Yeah.
it's
You have 3 10s and an 8.
yeah, but
And
I
only
have
2 1s. So.
One.
Oh.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm not
Sorry.
blind.
Sorry. Remember, pain meds.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah.
she nods. Not quite as good as the first one, but you know, you can't hit everything dead center like that every time. And then she's going to roll her Ape's Craft Blessing. Ooh. Ooh. She'll spend a point of Gnosis to activate her Bow of Artemis. 3 plus 4 plus 2. 9 dice total at difficulty 3. And she's like, just observe my form. And she'll aim for 3 turns, adding additional 3 dice. Let's add a very smooth exhale. And then, yeah.
Thankfully,
1,
you have difficulty
2,
3.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes. So yeah, she fires out this arrow, and not only does it hit one target, but it actually goes through one target and hits a target just behind it. So it's like.
Archery clap.
Archery, when firing an arrow, the more time you have to line up your shot, the better. But of course, in combat, that may not always be the case. You have to pick and choose the times that you're going to slow down. If your packmates or your war party is in trouble, you may not have the luxury of lining up a shot. The best thing I can advise is as you progress in the skill, start learning how to maximize your battlefield awareness. The good thing about being an archer is that you can be just about anywhere on the battlefield at once, at least make your impact felt. So the idea is, say that we have a situation where it's you, Travis, Olaf, Blitzkrieg, and Ren, all fighting on the battlefield, all at the same time. Each one of them engaged with one opponent. Who are you going to prioritize to assist from a distance?
I guess the one who has his back turned on the enemy who is in his blind sight.
Let's say that there's 4 enemies, 4 Garou, each of them occupied. You're the 5th individual. Who is your priority? And she'll have an arrow in hand. And she waits. And if he takes more than a couple seconds, she'll smack him upside the head with the tail end of the arrow. Ren just took a serious amount of damage. Think faster.
Well, obviously, the one. It's either the one who is the less physically capable, or the one who faces the most dangerous one.
All right. Notch up your arrow. Fire quickly.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Notch up your arrow. Fire quickly.
So you want me to make a roll?
Yep.
Okay. Oh yeah, fire quickly, so no more wits. Okay. Yep.
She goes, good. You didn't hit Ren. Very good.
Yeah, that's it's like, oh, good. You haven't hurt someone.
Remember that the other idea that you have to keep in mind, the other concept, is that while you can be everywhere on the battlefield at once, shooting into a fight between 2 individuals at close quarters definitely makes it more difficult to hit them. And if you mess it up, guess what you're doing? You could potentially be putting an arrow between the ribs of one of your mates.
Well, the only good aspect is that if it's a Bane, then we have Bane arrows for this.
Bane arrows are nice, but it's not always a guarantee.
And he kind of looked at her puzzled. What do you mean it's not a guarantee?
We're not always going to be fighting Banes on the battlefield.
You say, well, of course, but I mean, if it's a Bane, then yeah, this technically is not a problem.
Now, of course, and she'll roll her Gnosis again, get a success. She pulls out one of the arrows that has sort of like a white bit of paint around the neck of the shaft just below the arrowhead. And if Katori wants to roll a Perception Primal Urge.
Yeah. Perception Primal Urge. So I'm not in Lupus, but I still have my minor rights. So difficulty standard, so it's 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
With 4 successes, you can actually almost hear the wind spirits as they whisper and talk jovially as they are bound into this Talon arrow. And Callie will concentrate, giving her 12 dice to hit a target that's well across on the completely other side of the archery range. So you'll notice that she actually angles her bow up to compensate for the drop in the arrow.
Mm-hmm.
And this will be, let's see, normally it would be a difficulty 4, but let's put in range penalties, so difficulty 6.
Mm-hmm.
Normally difficulty 8. And wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 successes. So she lets the arrow fly, and you hear it whistle with the sound of like a gentle breeze sort of going through the trees.
Mm.
And the arrow actually goes upwards, and then as it gets to its peak, normally you would see it fall down, down, down. It looks like it will come short of its target, but in mid-flight, you notice that it begins to spin and sort of right itself as the wind spirits guide it to its target, and it actually just hits directly in between the eyes of the training dummy, about 120 yards away or so.
Hmm.
Talon arrows also make life a little bit easier.
Hmm. Yeah, you can probably see the cogs working inside his mind. He's thinking like, what kind of nasty thing can I put in a Talon arrow to fuck up with the enemy?
And she'll pull out a blue ringed arrow, a yellow ringed arrow, and a silver ringed arrow.
Mm.
These are a bundle of very specific arrows I have. She'll hand over the blue one. And this one is completely made out of like carbon. It's completely weaverfied.
Mm.
These are my stasis arrows. I built these with the help of pattern spiders.
Mm.
They use their gift or their charm of calcify on whatever I attack.
Mm. Yeah, I know those, and yeah, calcification can be very funny. And you see, he has a kind of twisted look on his face, like he actually knows what he's talking about.
These are my sun arrows. Very useful against leeches.
Mm.
And also, I believe it's your tribe that specializes in the making of these.
Mm.
And then this is one of a few new arrows that I've created called a wind claw arrow.
Mm.
Fire one of these babies, and anybody who's wearing any sort of armor outside of what they naturally have completely negates it.
Mm. When you mean outside of what they naturally have, you mean that
Troll
it can?
skin, natural ability to absorb damage. Like if I fired this against you,
Mm-hmm.
you would be able to take on the damage as you normally would
Mm-hmm.
against claws.
Mm.
But if you were wearing a vest or Luna's armor,
Mm-hmm.
not so lucky.
Mm. Indeed.
Very useful for the times that we're going up against armored worm minions, like
Mm.
they're soldiers and
Mm.
spirals who think that they can wear odd skins of other Garu.
Mm. Mm. And he kind of thinks, actually, I think that there's something that could be very interesting, but I would need to think about this one. Because if we think about it, Fomori's. They are not really human anymore. We have no control over them. Actually, does Kelly have worm lore?
No, not yet.
So pretty much right now he's probably talking gibberish. But his gibberish might, open you for worm lore. But if we could just eat the spirit and not the human, then that would render him helpless. I definitely need to check into that.
You trying to propose making something like exorcist arrows?
Yeah. If
Interesting
a spirit,
concept.
if a spirit, any spirit possess the body of someone, what's the point of hurting this person? If it's an ally, then yes, we need to exorcise the spirit. But we can ask, do we need to kill? There are innocent Hamids who were turned into Fomoris against their will. Sometimes they can't be saved, but if we hurt the spirit, and if it exorcise him, and that this human doesn't know where he's at or why he's there, this could create chaos into the ranks of the Fomoris. Confusion can be actually very useful. But I think it will only be effective if the Fomori would be there, the Bane would be inhabiting the body for a short time. Because after a while, there is no difference between the Bane and the host.
True.
But if it works, that could actually be very funny and very useful.
Also, good points. For Theers like you, the concept of Talon arrows is probably an overwhelming bastion of ideas.
Well, I at least know what I'm going to do. I will have to think if, and he looks at the bow. I will have to see if this would work, but I will have to make a moon bow first. I will have to see if it would work with something like this, or if I have to go with something more traditional. But yes, so many ideas, so little time. Is there anything you would like to talk to me about outside of arrows and archery, which is fine?
She'll rest the bow on the ground and sort of lean on it. Well, I don't know if you've heard, but Olaf left his pack.
Sorry, raise an eyebrow. Is there a reason?
I think that his reasons probably are better left said by him. I don't want to get anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But Olaf has proven himself to be quite the resourceful Garu in our set. He's a Philodox. He's a Fenrir, but one of the more agreeable Fenrirs I've ever come across.
Kotori kind of chuckles at this. Yeah, I have to say that for a son of Fenrir, um, he is more bearable than what his tribe stereotypes gives us.
Which is why I think maybe, just maybe, you should maybe talk to him. See if he's right for the Hunters of the Lost.
Mm. You can see that he thinks maybe you can make a perception empathy on Kotori.
Um,
4 successes.
yeah.
Basically what you get from Kotori is that he seems conflicted. He seems conflicted about something. And what you can probably guess, considering that, you have pretty much been there for a while and you have seen Kotori, it's not his personal opinion, but you can see that his reservations are because of someone else, not his. So she can probably put 2 and 2 together.
She'll take the bow up, raise it on her shoulders, and sort of drape her arms over or her wrists over the arms, so she kind of has that relaxed look. Got something on your mind, Alpha? What is it?
I have nothing against Olaf personally. As you said, he may be new, but he has done things for this sept, and he is actually the more bearable get offenders that I've seen. My my only reserve is, well, it's Screaming Eagle. It would need to be cautious, but I guess I will need to talk to Olaf first. But I think the safest thing would be if he makes something for Uktena to accept him, to actually make sure that if Screaming Eagle gets out, he doesn't automatically lash out on him. But I guess the long term.
Wasn't Screaming Eagle in a pact with the Shadow Lord?
The Shadow Lord had been accepted by Uktena. The problem with Screaming Eagle is that he comes from a time beyond the Shadow Lord. He comes from a time where the Gate of Fenrir came to Turtle Island, to this place. There were no Shadow Lord in South America at this point. So I guess Kelly has academics. So it's up to you. Either you make the roll, or we assume that she understands what period of time he's talking about.
Yes, colonialism.
Actually, no. He's talking about way before.
We're talking about Saxon conquests, Viking conquests.
Yeah, which result in the Ymir sweat camp. But
I'll
yeah.
roll my Gar lore on that one. Damn. Yeah. She knows about the about that, apparently.
Mm.
She ah okay.
I guess the long term solution is that I told it to you, but I plan, and apparently Rowan Oak sets a quest for Xavier in the future, and well, it was one of my objectives. But I want to free Screaming Eagle from the abyss where he's trapped. At least this way he might rest. He might be put to rest, go back to the homeland and heal his wounds and be less, well, insane. But yeah, Shadow Lords are a problem because of what they did, but Death of Fenris is way closer to home because they killed his kinfolk family, his kinfolk pack. So yeah, it can be complicated. I will, however, talk with Olaf and try to work a way to make it less complicated if the Hunters of the Lost would be a place where he would feel at home. But this will need some time to think. I thank you for pointing that out to me.
Well, the other thing you have to take into consideration, does he even want to join us? But it's a conversation that you can have with him and decide where you want to go. I think he would be a good addition to our pack.
As well, I saw Blitzkrieg Raya recently, and he gave me an additional task outside of Den Favering. It is still Den Faver, kind of, but for those who are packless, needs to come to me to seek counsel about which place is best for them. So I guess that whatever his choices are, I will have a conversation with him to find him a place where he will fits and where he will not have to quit because of personal reasons.
Well, it's up to you in the end.
And with that, he gets up, stretch a little bit. I'm going to make a short walk, and I'll probably talk and seek counsel to Bear about this one.
No, it's... well, then I'll get back to it then. Got things to do today.
I will see you around.
See you around, my friend.
And with that, we can call it a scene. Thank you, archers, for archering, watcher for watching, and we will see you next time.